Welcome to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host, the Fantasy Clown, along with my co-host, JDM Clown. Excited for another football week. Week 9 in the rearview mirror, and we're looking forward to week 10. Justin, back from Vegas.
Indeed. Oh yeah. Made quite a bit of money out there, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Geez, I see you smiling. I guess you must have done pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Any big bets that you won that you want to share?
Nothing on the betting side. I pretty much broke even on the betting, but I won quite a bit on the slots and blackjack, so pretty happy with that.
Which casinos did you play blackjack?
I played at Park MGM
Okay.
and Bellagio.
Okay, well, good for you.
Yeah.
Did you have any all-night renditions of blackjack?
No. Well, I sat down on the table for about 3.5 hours. Was up almost $1,000, and pretty much walking away even by the end of it. So
At least you got some table action and got some
yeah,
table time in.
yeah.
I remember co-host Brad and me and my other son Mike. We spent just a couple shoes at a table, and the three of us, and we all won a couple $100 playing like two shoes. And so it's kind of funny. The three of us sitting next to each other on a table, we all won $200, just $25
Nice.
bets, and we're just sitting there, playing on a shoe, and we just kind of took them for 200 each in this one shoe. So that was cool. That was back in March Madness. We had a lot of fun with that. So good stuff. Well, let's kick off DraftKings. That's kind of where we always start. And I do see that you were in the top 3 this week, Justin. But
Yeah.
Rick Topher was our leader, 169.20. And then B-Balls Jars 5, 163.94. And then you came in third at 155.30. Do you want to break down the Rick Topher team there, the 169.20?
Absolutely. Yeah. So he went with Dak Prescott, quarterback, 31.36 points. Saquon Barkley, 14.3. Jonathan Taylor, 17.9. Um, the rookie Douglas, wide receiver out of New England, at wide receiver for 10.5. Tank Dell, big day for him, 32.6. Nico Collins, 14.4. Hunter Henry, 13.9. CD Lamb, 32.1. And he took a -1 at his defense with the Giants.
Wow. I had CD Lamb in my team as well, so I guess I definitely was going with CD Lamb. But yeah, a lot of kind of similarities. What did you have for your third place team, Justin? Who was your team centered around?
Pretty much, I kind of paid up at wide receiver. I went with Mac Jones, 12.1. Jonathan Ford with 12.7. Chuba Hubbard, 10.7. AJ Brown, 19.6. Chris Olave, 16.6. Nico Collins, 14.4. Kate Otten at tight end for 24 points. CeeDee Lamb, 32.1. And the Packers with 12 points.
Yeah, so Kate Otten got you a lot of points for the money as well.
Yeah.
I saw there. I went with a Lamar stack, and Lamar and Zay Flowers didn't do enough for me, even though Lamar tends to play really well at home. So that was my theory. But paying up to the top quarterback spot was really rough this week. So yeah, I didn't do so well. Looking at the teams that I beat, I actually did win 2 of my matchups against Rupert 13 and W. O'Brien 93, and I only had a 110, so I was in a very tough win this week. But yeah, did get the win against 2 teams, and then got beat by 3 teams actually. Rick Topher, who was at the top, and then D Guz and the Pac Fan, all were able to beat me with things over that 110.08 score. So I gave $40 away this week. So want to encourage people to jump in there and play Beat the Clown. Five times there, and yeah, we might have to see if you want to do some head-to-head matchups, Justin. If you decide that hey, you want to jump in and play some of
Yeah.
the guys head-to-head, we can add you to a couple matchups too. Each week and
Oh
kind of
yeah, I'd
something
love to.
different.
I
And
will.
then I won't be on an island. We'll be able to show off how you do against these guys in some head-to-head. So I was
Yeah.
thinking about that over the weekend, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but anyway, that might be something fun to kind of pit them against you as well. So we'll get that in
Bring it
underway
on.
for this Sunday. So if you'd like.
Sounds
All
good to
right,
me.
jumping into the fantasy football week 9.
So we're going to start off the best ball head-to-head redraft. The R. Cagle 1989 with the 308.42.
And there, Art Cagle looks like his first time coming through on the top spot, and looking here, on pace to get the bye. So with the number 1 ranking, and so the top 2, I see you're coming in there right behind in the 3 spot. So good job there. I'm a game out of the playoffs, so I'm kind of knocking on the door, but right now I'm on the outside looking in. So,
Still got a few more weeks to go, so we'll see.
yeah.
A best ball head-to-head. B. King Khan 34 with a 301.8.
And King Kong 34 is actually the team that we thought was going to win this thing, and was the top point getter in week 2, week 5, week 7, and now week 9. As you see there at the top spot as well. And I guess I feel like now teams are starting to separate themselves, the best teams there at the top. You and I, we didn't do very well in this kind of format this time around. I mean, I only have 1 win. You have 2 wins. So it looks like it's going to be the rest of Clownhead Nation going for the playoffs. And King Khan and Bolt Fam look like they're under, one pace to get the buys.
Yeah. Good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, so the redraft 1, River AD 98 to 281.93.
And so this is a league that I was actually in top spot last week. So River AD taking over the top spot, and this is his first time actually as the top point getter here. Got to go down to the 5 spot to get to them, and just a recap of where things are. You're in the 6th spot, so inching your way into the playoffs, and I'm in the top spot looking to get a bye. So this is one where you and I are pretty successful, and I guess the road to the win is going to go through one of us.
Exactly. They redraft 3, Jigsaw 4 to 277.99.
And Jigsaw 4 looks like this is the first time in the top spot there, and this is one that you were in the top spot last week, so taking the throne from you. And just kind of looking overall, Jigsaw 04 is in the 3 spot, so in the playoffs pretty solidly. But I see that you're there with 1 pace to get the bye, and then I'm in the 5 spot here. So again, both of us look like we're in the playoffs, and our top point getter as well. So going to be a fast and furious run to the finish line here.
Absolutely. The best ball points only, number 1, MB Gut, the 280.57.
And this is the first time MB Gut has been in the top spot. And looking here at where the MB Gut is, in 5th place. And this is one where it looks like Bumpskis is kind of running away. That we pay the top 3 winners here, but man, it's looks like there's a run for 3rd place, and everybody's pretty tight there in points. But beyond that, it's it looks like Bumpskis is running away with the top spot here pretty handily. But a lot of weeks to go to get to week 17, so we go the whole way to week 17 here. So there is some time to make up that ground.
Best ball points only number 2 league, the Camber with a 344.27.
And here we thought that the Camera was going to be the top team, and it looks like Camera was the top team in week 2, in week 6, in week 8, week 9. So just kind of leading the way here in the top spot as well. So kind of running away with the points here. We pay 3 spots, and it's really running away with the scoring here. I'm the whole way down at the 11th spot, so it looks like I'm outside of the money in this one as well, and so just these points only leagues are really challenging based on the draft, and you can't really do much. So it's kind of an idea of who can draft and see who can get there. So good luck to those top 3 spots.
Exactly. So now we're going to head over to our dynasty leagues. Clownheads 1 through 5. We're going to start off the Clownheads number 1, Last Action Hero, with a 247.75.
Looking at Last Action Hero, this is the first time actually in the top spot for Last Action. So, kind of getting into that spot. However, the number 2 seed overall. So this really propelled him to be able to be, on pace to get the bye. I see you're in the 5 spot. So, really they're solidly in the playoffs. I'm 1 game out of the playoffs, but the whole way down in 10. So, feel like I'm way down in the points, but just really 1 game behind. So, hopefully going to make a move here.
Exactly. So we're going to Clownheads number 2, Dirty Dave Storms with the 273.32.
30 Day Storms actually has been a top point getter in this league, week 1, week 4, and now in week 9. And when we kind of look at where things are here, in the 3 spots, so solidly in the playoffs, for this team. This one looks like you and I are down the ladder again. I'm 1 game out, or I guess I'm tied for the 6th spot with record, but I feel like down there at 10, at the 10 spot, I feel like I'm way behind as well, but trying to make a move, here as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this is actually my worst team I own right now. So from Clownheads 2. Clownheads number 3, JSL 111 with a 259.22.
JSL 111 actually was our winner last year, so would be on pace if he could hold on and get the championship to get the Empire pot. Was the leader in week 1 and now back again in week 9. So, and it has the top spot here. So, on pace to get a bye. This is a league that only I play in, but just kind of activated Will Levis tonight for this team to throw in the quarterback spot. So was able to put Kenny Pickett on the bench, which I think there was a 10-point projected point difference. So, really have a good shot this week to really propel my way up the leaderboard here and get towards the playoffs, 1 game behind. So, yeah, I'm starting to see what we can do here.
Exactly. So the Clownheads number 4 is our top point go-getter for Clownheads 1 through 5, Jack Powers with a 294.46.
And what's ironic here, Jack Powers was the leading point getter in week 3 in this league, but when we looked at last year, Clownhead 2 and 3 were where Jack Powers had the real strong teams. Didn't have the strong team in Clownhead 4, but here this year, just kind of, bringing this team on from the 3 spot and really, really doing well. I see you and Brad are kind of knocking on the playoff door. I'm way down in the 11th spot, and this is one of my worst Clownhead teams out of these first 5 is here in Clownhead 4. Just kind of a weak team.
And so as a team, we're going to look over that real quick. It started Patrick Mahomes with the 23.55, Deshaun Watson with a 29.96, Raheem Mercer 19 points, Austin Eckler 26.5, Mike Evans 16.2, Tyler Lockett with the 7.2, Austin Cooper 30.4, Braxton Berrios did not score anything. Big fat 0 for him. Dalton Kincaid 38.6, Johnny Smith, 38.25. Aaron Jones, 26.4. Rashid White, 38.4. He has Baker Mayfield on the bench down there. He picked up Leonard Fournette, it looks like. There's Latavius Murray on the bench. Let's see, what else? Has Juju on his bench. Evan Ingram, which he was on by. He's coming back next week. And Noah Gray seem to be getting more and more touches consistent touches each week, scoring his fair share right now. So there's a few people that he can pull up, plug and play, but we'll definitely see what his team can do here in the future.
Well, I like that he had Pat Freiermuth on the IR and Zach Ertz on the IR, so a couple of tight ends that possibly could come in and help. I don't know that Ertz is maybe fits that bill, but definitely Freiermuth in this 3-point PPR, should be able to be helpful for this team down the stretch when he comes back.
Absolutely. Head over to the Conheads 5. Top Flight Hooker with a 274.87.
Taking a look at Top Flight Hooker, this team, we kind of had pegged to be the second place team in this league, so we did think it was going to be a pretty good team, but was the top point getter in week 3 here in this league, was the top point getter overall in Clownheads 1 through 5 in week 5, and now back in the top spot in week 9. So, kind of happened a couple times. Looks like it's the 2 seed. So really having a strong season overall. When you start to look at you, me, and Brad, we all play in this league. I'm in the 7th spot, and looks like you're in the 10th spot, Brad in the 11th spot. So I'm kind of in the best place to make the playoffs, but I'm still a game out. So, try to make my move here coming up in these next couple of weeks.
Exactly. So going to head on over to the Clownhead 6 through 9. Clownhead 6, J2 Beast 49 with a 260.21.
And QB 49 actually looks like the first time in the top spot. So kind of welcome to getting the most points. And looking here, it is a strong team in the 3 spot. I see you there in the 2 spot. So this is a team that we just drafted this year. So good job getting yourself on pace to get a bye. I'm way down in the 12th spot with an offer. So this is one of my weaker teams overall, just in general. I mean, I usually come out of the gate pretty slow, but this one's bad. I mean, it's just ready to the not drafting quarterbacks tended to really hurt here. So
yeah, and I noticed that's how you kind of went with that. So the Clownheads number 7, KJB 2121 with a 260.03.
And so kind of a tale of 2 different things. I was actually the top point getter last week here, and KGB 2121 was the top point getter. It looks like back in week 5 as well. So returning to that top spot. Down in the 7th spot, though. So this is the first time we're kind of talking about a top point getter that's out of the playoffs. And so that's kind of an ironic distinction. It's like you and me are both kind of in the 8-9 spot. So we're kind of on the fringe of getting there. And it looks like you're tied in record-wise for that for the playoffs. And I'm a game behind. So, this will be our time to make a move for both of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's 4 of us that are tied there for the 5-6. So we'll see how it ends up. Clownhead number 8, Bite Me Kuda Viking with a 269.08.
Well, Bite Me Kuda Viking, actually, this is the first time in the top spot for him as well. This is a league where you were in the top spot in week 1 and 4. So, your team's really strong. Taking a peek here at where he is, he's actually down in the 9 spot coming in as a top point getter here. So outside of the playoffs. And likewise, I'm way down in last place. And then yet you drafted a team that is up in first place, so one pace to get the bye, and actually, it looks like you're pretty solidly there, one pace to get the bye, just based on your record being a whole game up on everybody. So anxious to see you ride that one to the finish line.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that one. So the Clowns number 9 was the top point go getter for Clownhead 6 through 9. T lost 7 with a 272.37.
And T-Lawler 7 actually was the top point getter for this particular division in week 3 as well. So kind of back in the top spot. This particular league, though, this is the 5th time that it's been the top point getter in Clownheads 6 through 9 so far out of 9 weeks. So, really, we have a lot of points come out of this league, just standardly, which is kind of an interesting situation here. But as we look at this team in the 4 spot, so back to having a playoff team be the top team, looks like you and I are down in the 9-10 spot. So, here kind of having to make a move. I'm actually tied record-wise with that 6th spot. So, just kind of got to get a win and get back into the running here, get to the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to take a look at his team if we can detail that.
Absolutely. So he started Joe Burrow with a 31.52, Jalen Warren 21.05, Tank Dell with a 32.1, Chris Olave with a 17.6, Logan Thomas with a 15.6. Kerryon Grayson didn't score with a 0. Keenan Allen 17.1, Hunter Henry 22.9, Brandon Cooks 2.2, Joe Mixon 25.8, CJ Stroud had a huge week 62.05. When Patrick Mahomes with a 23.55. Looks like he has a couple extra quarterbacks here with Baker Mayfield, Zach Wilson. As Kenton Mitchell, rookie running back from Baltimore, on his bench there. Let's see. Anyone else working? Is Pat Frymuth, Justin Jefferson on IR.
Looks like Mark Mims and Tank Dell. I don't know if you mentioned those, and JJ down there on his IR as well.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely has some players.
Absolutely.
All right, I guess we're on to the Elite 8.
Indeed, we are. So Division A, P Jags, the 271.7.
Looking at P Jags, actually, this is the first time in the top spot this year for P Jags. We did have this as maybe the second best team in this division at the beginning of the year, and looking here in the 4 spot. So something, trying to work its way into that big playoffs in those top two spots, and things are starting to tighten up. 6-3 record. They're 2 full games behind those 2 top spots. So got to make a move here with 5 games to go, and really make the move here. As you can see, I'm in this league and I'm way down at 2-7 record. So kind of looking for a lottery pick for me.
Division B, Mucho with a 227.70.
Looking at Mucho, this is the first time in that top spot for Mucho as well. So that's 2 in a row. And when we take a look at Mucho here, he is in the top spot in this division. So 1 pace to get to that big tournament, and 2 full games ahead of the 3rd place team. So 2 full games ahead with 5 to play. So, we're getting to that point where we're really starting to see the separation, and people, our teams are getting locked in. I see that you're just 1 game behind the divisional playoffs there with your record. You're in this division at 5-4. So, good luck, working your way into the top 6 spots.
Thank you. Division C, Team Poston with a 265.05.
And Team Poston actually was the top point getter in week one as well here. And, taking a peek at where, he's kind of on pace to get to the large playoffs as well in the two spot, but tied record wise with number three. So a little bit of jockeying for position, I'm sure, will happen here. I see producer Brad down in the 9 spot, so kind of a couple games behind and really building for the future as well here in this division.
Division D, Bumskis with a 263.29.
And Bumskis, man, I'm just amazed at how well he's just kind of, coming out here with a 9-0 record. And so, coming out with the top spot, he was the leading point getter last week in this division as well. And just really putting it all together here at this stage of the tournament. And we see him in the top spot and, looking down to the 30 spot, 2 full games ahead again with 5 to play. So really, putting the hammer down and setting himself up, really to maybe be the top seed coming out of this tournament. So undefeated right now with that record of 9-0.
Very nice. Division E, A Loveless, 228.92.
And A. Lovelace, this is the first time in the top spot for A. Lovelace. So one of the cool things here is he's in the 10 spot. So kind of outside of the playoffs, just coming through with the second win of the year. So really probably creating some havoc, for the top spot. I see Trader Dan in this division and in the 4 spot. So I know he was kind of fighting to try to get into those top 2, but, a full game behind now of those top 2, but in that pretty solidly in the top 6 divisional playoffs here.
Division F, River AD 98 with a 260.84.
Now, River AD, actually, we had as the top team in this division in the preseason, and River AD was the top scorer in week 4 and week 6, the leading point getter in the whole Elite 8 in week 8, and now the top again in week 9. So just putting together a string of great performance in the 4 spot, though. So all those accolades of big scores must have had some low scores or gotten beat by just a couple, because in the 4 spot and 1 game behind the top spot of getting to those large playoffs. Looking at the score though, with 2,300 points, the top points for person. So really just needs that 1 extra win to then get the tiebreaker and get into that top 2 spot. So good luck to River AD.
Absolutely. Division G, Molly R with a 266.33.
Miley R is really in the top spot a lot. We didn't have him in any of our preseason favorites, but was the top point getter in week 1, then back in week 5, week 6, week 7, and now week 9. So really a whole bunch of times. And as you see here, the top point getter the number 1 seed in this division. So one pace to really work its way to getting to that large playoffs, and here in the 1 seed and one game ahead of the number 3 and 4 teams. So really putting together a nice performance here in this particular division.
Absolutely, and good luck to Molly there. Division H was a top point go getter for A through H. Nick Primo, 284.53.
And Nick Primo actually was the top point getter in this division week 6. And of course, I always like to make a shout out to this division because it had 2 of our Final Four finalists, I guess you could say, last year. So a really challenging division. And Nick Primo wasn't part of that. So to be, here getting the top points is really a credit to him. And so in the 4 spot, 6-3 record, and, really trying to fight his way into getting into those top spots. We do have a team here, you dumbass, that is 9-0 as well. So, really a battle for that top seed overall coming out of this division as well. So, place 2 is really the one that everybody's fighting for to get that final entry into the large tournament, here. So good luck to Nick Primo. we need to take a look at his roster and what created the top points.
Yes, let's do that. So Josh Allen with a 36.32, Deshaun Watson 31.86, Derrick Henry 27.45, Cam Akers 11.8, Cooper Kupp 7.8, Stephon Diggs 24.1, Michael Pittman 16.4, Jacoby Myers 14.75, Mark Andrews 36, Dalton Schultz 50, um, Devin Singletary 9.35, Chuba Hubbard 18.7. And look down there on his bench, Zach Wilson there on his bench, carry on Mitchell as well. There's Michael Carter down there. Brandon Ayuk is on bye this coming week. Let's see. He has Noah Gray at tight end there. Let's see. What about he has Nick Chubb on IR, which is out the rest of the year. Aaron Rodgers as well. Yeah, he might come back towards the end of the year, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's a real solid team. It looks like a team that really can propel on to the big playoffs if it can get it work its way in.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so now we're going to head on over to our Big Eight. Division S, Justin 130998 to 294.63.
That's like a tongue twister. Justin 130,998, but was the top point getter back in week 2. Looks like week 8, week 9. So running it back again this week. And as I look at this team, it looks like they're in the 3 spot with 6-3 record overall. 2 full games out of those top 2 spots. So solidly in the 6-team playoff, but man, it's going to be tough to overcome those other teams and get 3 extra wins, with 5 to go. And when you see yourself 2 games back, that really feels like a tall task to overcome, those top 2 teams.
Absolutely. So heading over to Division B now. SB Sherman with the 301.89.
I'm actually looking at Division T. Do we have that? Is that where we are? We should be at Division T, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's my fault there. Division T, L Diaz with a 244.22.
Yeah, looking at El Diaz, it looks like the first time in the top spot here in Division T, and looking over in the 6th spot. So in that divisional playoffs, but not able to kind of. I guess when I look at it, 5-4 record, only 2 games behind the top 2 spots. So still has a chance to get up there, but Noisy Silence and looks like Jay Bird, kind of with 7-2 records, are kind of pacing the way to the large playoffs.
Division U, Tweak C with a 253.54.
And KC here, I think, looks like it was a top point getter back in week 5, and so returning now in week 9. Here in the 7th spot, so kind of outside of the playoffs, outside looking in, but has a tied record to get into the 6th spot. Earth Get Black and Doing It Well seem to be up there in the top 2 spots. I see Trader Dan here in the 9 spot, so just kind of working his way into the playoffs or building here for the future. So I just want to give him a shout out, but it looks like he's going to miss the playoffs here in this division. Looks like your mic isn't working, Justin. I think we have you muted there.
Okay, I think I got it now. So Division V, SB Sherman the 301.89.
Yeah, getting over the 300-point plateau, but SV Sherman actually the first time in the top. Oh no, I'm sorry. Week 4 was the top point getter as well. And when I take a look here, in the 2 spot here, so on pace to get to those large playoffs. Looks like behind Danny Nichols, that has a 9-0 record and really challenging for the top spot here in this particular playoff run, but and a couple games behind with 7-2 record, here. So good luck to you guys trying to pull out those top 2 teams.
Exactly. So Division W, at the top point go getter for the Big 8 here. G Town Baseball 22 to 314.96.
Yeah, that was a real good score. We actually thought preseason that was going to be our best team in this division, and then was the top point getter in week 4, week 7, week 8, week 9. So kind of run it back 3 weeks in a row here. Really, it is in the top, the 2 spot here overall. So, it is putting together a real nice team here in this particular division, and on pace to get to that large playoffs. But I see with another team, Phil Rupert with a 6-3 record as well, just kind of knocking on the door, and just one slip up away from being out of that large playoffs. We can take a look at his team overall.
Yeah, let's do that. So a quarterback, he went with Josh Allen with 33.72, Jonathan Taylor 26.4, Stephon Diggs 24.1, Deontay Johnson 24, Mark Andrews 36, Jake Ferguson 40.1, Rashid White 38.4, Jonathan Ford 22.2, Brees Hall 17.5, Tony Pollard 14.3, Eric Carr 23.49, Jacoby Myers 14.75. Looks like he has Josh Dobbs there on his bench. Which he benched him because he got traded. They said that he wasn't going to play. He has Christian Kirk there as well. Evan Ingram. Let's see. Anyone else?
I think Tyler Boyd and Jake Ferguson.
Yep. Sky Moore as well.
Yeah. So there's some teams. I'm kind of shocked as we look at all these teams that we didn't see any more of Stroud on here in his point, like in the top points. I thought maybe we'd see Stroud across the board in a lot of the top point teams, here this week with that huge output, especially the way we score quarterbacks here. So kind of shocked actually. And the other person I thought maybe we'd see a lot of is Kate Otten. Because, with 3-point PPR, I think he was in the mid-30s, and I thought maybe we'd see some of that, be a prevalent top point getter. But we didn't. So I guess that's how that kind of goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at Division X, I guess that's what we're up to.
Yes, Titan Chaps, 253.43.
Geez, Titan Chaps has been in the top spot here a lot. We actually thought that would be the second team making it to the playoffs, and was the top point getter week 1, week 2, and now back again in week top point getter overall for the Big 8 in week 4, and then back in week 9 as well. And Titan Chaps is 9-0, so in the top spot here. So really a real good team. Looks like Brad is really producer Brad's coming on here in this one as well in the 5 spot. So, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the big playoffs, a couple games behind, but really here going to be able to play for some cash and be in the top 6 spots.
And it looks like there's 4 people tied there.
Yeah, agreed.
That's great. Makes it interesting.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how that jockeying for position goes.
Exactly.
The rest of the way.
Exactly. Now we're going to go over to my division, Division Y, King Kong 34 with a 274.82.
Really, King Kong wins a lot of our redraft stuff and has been in the top spot there many times. So kind of ironic here, not been a top team in this division, but I know we say King Kong 34 a lot, as we do these shows week to week. So just kind of an interesting situation here. And in the 4 spot here in this particular division, but only 1 game out of the playoffs. Or I'm sorry, 8-1. I guess 3 games out with 5 to go. So really going to have a tough time getting into the large playoffs. Maybe more suited for the divisional playoffs here with King Kong 34. And where are you? You're in 8th place here. So you're just kind of out 1 game out. So we'll see if you can make a move.
Yeah. Definitely, we'll see. So, Division Z, Pants Popper with a 240.77.
Yeah, pants pooper. My goodness. I think he did poop his pants because he hasn't been in the top spot before this particular week. So this is the first time in the 5 spot, so in the divisional playoffs, but only 1 game behind second place, Mr. Shy Guy. So, does have the ability to kind of creep up into the big playoffs as well. Looks like has all the tiebreakers of the 5 and 4 teams. I'm way down there with getting my 2nd win this week, and I'm 2-7. So, kind of on the outside looking in, trying to get a low point max PF points. I think I am just a couple above the least. So, trying to win games, but also have the fewest max PF is what I'm balancing here. But good luck to Pants Pooper to get into those top spots and go to the large playoffs.
Exactly. Good luck there. Good luck to him. I think that wraps it up there.
That does. I mean, that's a whole week of games and 5 weeks to go till we get to the playoffs. So is this kind of how you thought it would go? And what's your takeaway with some of your teams? And what do things look like for you, Justin, as we get ready for week 10?
Yeah, this it kind of looked like some of the overall points was slightly down, just a little bit from last week, but not too much. Other than that, everything looks good. We have quite a few teams pushing to get in the playoffs, and I have a few teams that are looking pretty nice right now. So definitely thinking about trying to make maybe a move or two that help my chances even more. So definitely we'll see.
Yeah, I want to just encourage everybody to kind of keep those chats going in the Discord. And if you do have questions, I know producer Brad's really in there active and trying to respond to trade questions and that sort of thing. And so just encourage everybody to just jump in there and chat up and ask their questions. And then also appreciate whenever people just interact with each other and kind of keep the community moving. So just, really excited for what the Discord has become, and want to just do a shout out that, we're going to have some beat JDM Clown this week in some head to head. So that'll be exciting for DraftKings. And as we get closer to the playoffs in the fantasy game, I think we'll try to have some interesting things coming down the pike. And I know that Trader Dan and I are going to preview games that we should be releasing that preview show on Sunday morning this week. So, stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on the Discord for the videos that drop all the time. I feel like we're dropping 3 or 4 videos a week these days. So, lots of videos, coming out all the time. And, this show is packed full with information. So if you want your team to be shouted out, this is the show to be on, because, we tend to get to a lot of teams, a lot of pictures, a lot of standings, and a lot going on around Clownhead Nation. So, excited for week 10. It's coming on. By the time this video drops, I guess we'll be ready for week 10. And you're back from Vegas, Justin. So I guess we're ready for the home stretch and to take these teams to the playoffs. I I feel like this is the time when I now know what my teams are. So this has been, kind of a week where I've really been reflective upon, is the team good, is the team not. So I think my trades this week are going to be many more than normal. So there's lots of trades going on.
Oh yeah.
So now we got to figure out if we can trade. Me and you, I don't know if we haven't made a trade in a year, have we? I mean, it's been a long time since you and I made a trade.
Not since last year, I think. Not since last year.
We'll have to see. Maybe we'll have a trade go down. And if we have a trade go down, then you guys can all beat me up on how Justin ripped me off. So that'll be.
Don't mind doing that.
Yeah, I try to help out. Whenever I can. So, well, that'll do it for this week. And stay tuned for next week. We always appreciate the likes. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so that you know when these videos come out. And for Justin, I'm Ed. So long for now.
See ya.